What's going on, guys? It's me, Shukashu. We are back with another umamusume JP video. And here we are. We are going to train Daya for the upcoming CM. I feel like, as normally, whenever I train Daya, it is normally for a long-distance CM. So here we are. And for the setup, we are going to go back and see how this goes to the 1 stamina, 1 power setup instead of the 2 stamina, 2 speed setup. Mainly because if you look at the cap I got a good amount of stamina. I'll say it's not the max. But I got a good amount of stamina with just borrowing a dodo card with the same setup. So I'm kind of just banking on the fact that I did better with 1 power and 1 stamina, stats wise at least, it feels like. Or this could just be a cap thing. Let's be real, this might just be a cap thing. Or the run just went well. But I guess compared to yesterday, because my power just felt really low. And yesterday, so I was kind of like thrown off. I was like, not having a power card kind of just throws me off if it's gonna look like that. What did I get? A UA2, right? I trained McQueen yesterday. I think I got a UA or UA2. Oh, that's a different McQueen at UA2. Did I get high? Oh no, I think it was a UA6. Was it? It was, okay. It wasn't as bad. It could have been better. I guess technically this could have been better if I just had better training for power. If I could have pushed power to 1200, maybe higher, 13, I think it would have been fine. But then also wise could have been a factor here. I don't know, I'm just kind of just trying 2 different setups at this point. I'm trying 2 different setups at this point because I still get the same, pretty much around the same amount of wise regardless, because it was just forever young. But the main difference here is right here in the middle. Guts did make it a 1200. Power didn't. But stamina did go to 1800. So it's kind of like, what do I do here? What do I do here? So I'm kind of just wondering, what do I do here? Do I go to stamina? Because I felt like I overdid stamina. Because I think I stopped training stamina a little earlier. So I don't know. We'll just see. So right now we are just going to go back and see how this setup that I normally did use, that I use with Cap and the others, and we'll just see how it does. I'll probably just keep bouncing between the 2 subs when I do training. But other than that, 2 speed. Still in Love and Almond Eye, Forever Young Wise, My Toss in a Card, Borrowing Dodo, Stamina, and Tamamo Power. And that is pretty much it with the setup. So before we do jump into the run and comments, if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description down below. And I'm taking a look at the comments here. It seems like I think either Nova is not commenting to kind of just like, I don't know how because of YouTube, to kind of just, I don't know, go on to download all the comments, which is weird because Nova was commenting perfectly fine for a long time. For a long time. And then now, besides him on his vacation, which even when he was in vacation this year specifically, he still did comment a good bit. So I think this is on YouTube's end, making it hard or for Nova to comment for some odd reason. Whether, I don't know if he's banned or shadow banned. I think that's kind of weird when it comes down to the comment section, because I had nothing to do with it. All I knew was, over the weekend, I was used to seeing comments. And then, next thing you know, there just wasn't any comments from Nova. And then the same thing happened, and it just kept going on throughout the week. I was like, huh, that seems more like a YouTube thing than a Nova thing. But regardless, I had just finished recording my Enfield summoning video for Arcane. And also I did my global video for the CM, since I basically tried and focused on global a bit, which I managed to train a few Umas for the CM, but yeah, we'll just see how the CM goes. Let's just hope it goes okay. Let's just hope it goes okay. But yesterday I pretty much spent most of my free time catching up on Star Rail. So with Star Rail, I left off. The last story I finished was 4.1. We're in 4.4 right now, so I did skip 2 patches. Well, I didn't skip. I just didn't do the story. I did everything else but the story. I did the events, I did the polls, but I didn't do the story. I did the end games, I just didn't do the story. So yesterday I did 2. I did 4.2, and I did 4.3. So now I'm good. Well, kinda. I just need one more, but it's the most recent one. So that is not gonna happen yet, because one, I need to do Enfield story after I upload, or after I edit and upload everything that I've recorded so far, and then I can go to Enfield, which I don't know how long it's gonna take. And then I'll try, depending on when I end on the time, I might be able to squeeze it in and upload it by around the afternoon. If time is on my side. I think I should be able to, because let's say it's like, I don't even know how long Enfield stories normally are, because the character stories are normally short in general when we're talking about other games and all that. Or like, yeah, whatever, character agent stories, they're usually shorter. And I don't remember how long Enfield's story was the last time, because I know there were a few chapters. If I'm not did my game freeze? Did my game freeze, or did my tablet freeze? What the heck? No, my tablet didn't freeze. So why isn't it letting me? What? Okay, hold on. Tablet screen. Hit this. That. Do this from the tablet. Will it reset if I go back? No, it just blacked out the whole screen. Nope, it came back. All right, we're gonna have to relog in. We're gonna have to relog in. All right. But yeah, I don't know how long Enfield stories are, but I'm gonna just say maybe 4 hours, maybe 5 if there are multiple chapters. So maybe I'll be able to finish by noon or 1. Get that quick. Oh, but that would be a long time for it to upload, huh? It'll be fine, I guess. It'll probably take like 2 hours to upload, maybe. Maybe. Because if it's a 4-hour video, I think it would take like 2. I ain't entirely sure, but I think it will take like 2. And then I believe the next Star Rail story is like 4 hours also. Like a little over 4 hours, so it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, did I mention my Himiko pulls? Yesterday? Well, I think I did. I think I did. I got Himiko, regardless. And her Lycone. So now I'm pretty much just, well, I'd say I'm waiting for the Fate collab, but the second Fate collab. But if you've played Star Rail, you know what I'm about to mention. But if you guys don't, the Fate collab banner has been there the whole time. So I'm kind of like, do I feel like I need to pull it right off the rip? Because I think it goes, I think the banner goes live in around, the collab goes live in like almost in about a week. Like a little over a week, like 8 days. So I'm like, do I need to pull Reen right away? Actually, I don't even know who's the banner after the collab banner. Now that I think about it. If it's a character I don't care about, then I'll probably do it. Or don't really necessarily want to pull for, I'll probably do it. But if it is, then Yeah, we should make ramen because of the broth. Oh, not the broth. The condiments? Not the condiments. The additions, like the seaweed and all that. But yeah. I guess that's Saro. Genshin, I heard from my brother about the event story, or the current event story, whatever you want to call it. And I might need to put in time in that event. Not only because if I do stuff, you can get essentially free passes to not having to do the daily missions, because they'll give you some kind of, I guess we'll just call it a currency. Yeah, we'll just call it some kind of currency. Where if you finish missions and all that, they give you some kind of currency where, how's the broth doing over there? Because we do have a lot. I want to use some of it. If you use it, you basically don't have to do your daily missions. That was my main reason. But my real reason now is that I think it's longer than I assume it's going to be. Just based off what my brother told me, so we'll see. We'll see when I do that. I'm most likely going to do it after I play Star Rail, so. But like I said, Enfield first, because fresh story. You gotta get that out of the way first. You gotta get that out of the way first before we jump into anything I need to catch up on. And then I'll try not to stay behind Star Rail. This is the second time I've gotten behind in Star Rail in the last 2 years. The second time. So I'm gonna try to not do that. I'm gonna try not to do that. We don't have power though. I think I'll just do wise. +6. Maybe I'll just do stamina. Because I do need to try to get stamina as high as I can. Oh, there is a Zenless event that has like I just need to do Zenless events. Well, there's one that's like 3 days left that I do need to do. So I'll probably do that. Over the weekend for sure I gotta do that. No doubt. Well, yeah. That's pretty much it. Because NT, I didn't do anything. Even with the update of Beyond the Rails. I think I'm gonna level up as many characters as I can first to level 80 before I attempt Beyond the Rails. I think that'd be the smart move. I'll post Beyond the Rails on the channel. I didn't do it last time because one, it was I honestly just forgot. By the time I realized I could have recorded it was, well, I probably would have just recorded the last one, so I think I had time. I just ultimately decided that I just realized I used that, but did I? Yeah, this had it didn't do it, so I'm just gonna pick something else. I pretty much just wanted to use the ingredients, I guess, if I'm not gonna go training. But yeah, I could have done it for NT, but I'm just gonna wait till next time. I don't even know how I'm gonna do it. Because normally I would just do the last stage, right? For example, shield defense. Technically, I do more than the last stage in shield defense. Technically, right? Because you have to do the second to last stage in order to go to the to unlock the final stage with the 3 bosses, right? So, where are we? In 11? Oh, should be fine. And like most of the, like especially the later stages, they take like essentially 5 minutes, close to 5 minutes to beat, close to the time limit for me at least. So I guess we'll just see how it goes. We'll see when I decide to do it, or how I decide to do it when I do it. We'll do the hopeful stick. So I think we'll just do a normal rest, or nah. Should I? No, I'll just do a normal rest. But I'm gonna start going over the comments. And the first comment is from Asta. And it says, personally, I feel the Honkai Star Rail storyline turned into nonsense a long time ago. I could see why. But I'll finish the comment before I say my piece. It's often hard to grasp what's happening or why. I actually thought Penacony was good, though I'm excluding the whole Monkeys and Bananas plotline and the first Fate collab. But with Amphorius and Plan Arcadia, it's just becoming incomprehensible gibberish. This game is already worse. I think if we're just talking about like the Hoyo games in general, they have their own, how do they say, they have their own charm or their own way, own style of storytelling. And obviously, to me, I feel like Zenless is the best one out of it. Being the most recent one, I feel like maybe they learned how to do the story better. Star Rail, though, I could see why. I could see why the whole nonsense thing is there. Or why you feel like it's gone nonsense. But for me, Let's see before I explain my end, my side, how I see it. But first, the monkeys and bananas is pretty much just like a side thing. Because it was after the main story of Penacony. So it's just like the side thing. Kind of like how... I think after that, they ended up in the Xianzhou. So yeah, it was pretty much just a side thing. You don't necessarily count like the filler arcs in between or the filler patch updates in between. In my opinion, I don't. Well, unless they kind of play some role in the main story, but that one didn't because they ended up in the Xianzhou, and then after that, they were still in Penacony, and then they ended up going to Amphorius right after. So I don't essentially think I don't feel like a lot some of Star Rail's side things or side arcs or whatever. It doesn't feel like they're essentially canon in a way. I'll admit that. But their main story, I can see, or it can get a little bit nonsensical because obviously in all these three games they all have their own kind of humor. And I feel like in my opinion, for me, most of the nonsense comes from the how they I don't know how to describe it, implement their comedic release or whatever like that. It's just in the personality of the Trailblazer, right? I normally pick the funny options just to kind of just humor myself. But when it comes to like Amphorius, I actually did enjoy Amphorius. It was the longest. It was when they started posting their stories really long, like at 8 hours around, or it would be like 8 hours, but it could be a little bit less or all that. But and then at that time, a lot of people were complaining about the duration of the story, but were also complaining that they didn't understand what was going because they were just skipping through the story. I'm not gonna assume you skipped the story because it's. I'm just assuming that you do listen to the story and sat around listening to all that, because for me, I did understand what was going on. In Amphorius, it was pretty straightforward, in my opinion. I mean, it kind of had the whole same idea that a lot of the other gachas have done. It's essentially some kind of war going on. Natlan. Or we have like the Black Tide going on against in Wuwa with the whole Septimon thing and Renacida. Kind of had the same vibes. Ain't gonna lie. Which is neither here nor there, because I still did enjoy the Amphorius story, actually. Probably more than, obviously, the earlier stories, and probably... I think... I don't know, because with Plan Arcadia, for me currently, it's not that I'm not enjoying it. I just feel like... I don't know if I want to say there's too much going on, or... Because I get what's going on. I just feel like... I guess you could say, in a way, I don't feel as into it as Amphorius, in a way. Like, I still like the story. I like the whole... Like, learning about Himiko and all that. If you know, you know. Being in Himiko's homeland, which is... I'm just gonna go without really much saying spoilers from like the end of 4.3 and well, I don't know anything about 4.4, so I can't even spoil. I just pretty much talk about what I know. Is it really spoilers if I'm behind? I don't think so. So yeah, I'm enjoying Plan Arcadia, but story-wise, I think I still prefer Amphorius. Penacony was good, and I did like how they showed Firefly's perspective in a way through the whole Penacony story with Dahlia and all that. Just basically seeing other perspectives of other characters in Penacony. That was cool. That was cool for a, in a sense of, you could call it a filler arc, I'd say. But I would also probably, I would do that, but it wouldn't be good. So let me actually, how many? We have 0, we have 3. We should probably try using them. These things, so no, we want to use that. We want to save some of these. Yeah. Plan Arcadia, I'm kind of just enjoying it more than... Probably more than most, if anything. But I'm actually enjoying Plan Arcadia, not as much as Amphorius. Because I felt like Amphorius's story to me kind of felt... I'm gonna say the same thing I did for Uwa. Amphorius hit me more, but Penacony, if we're just talking about Plan Arcadia and Amphorius, I'd pick Amphorius as of right now. But I think Penacony is the best story out of it, I think. Well, did it have anything to do with the whole Firefly stuff? Maybe. But I did really like Penacony. I did like Amphorius, even though a lot of people hated it. Mainly, I would say, for the length of the story. Mainly. Because I genuinely... I generally did like the story. Because even though it did had some things that I more or less have seen from other gachas, it did have a lot of fun aspects where I was like, huh, this is quite interesting. So I personally liked it. Did I wish they had kept Cyrene's other form too? Maybe, but other than that, it's fine. I'm fine. Well, now I get it. I can see where it gets a little bit more nonsensical. I feel it too, where like, did we really need that or whatever? Although I did also some parts, I will say that I find myself just sitting there thinking, trying to figure out what characters would say or how would they respond. And all that. I feel like because I'm more engaged in the story, I feel more. I don't feel as. I don't know. I just feel like. Oh no, we kind of want to use what we do want to use. Can we just use one of each? No. Just 2. Personally, I pick Star Rail's story over Genshin. Only because, aside from the ones that I actually did like, story-wise, for Genshin, it's like, most of these games had a strong start for me. Genshin had an okay start, because I ended up dropping it after Mondstadt. And then before picking it up later on. Before picking it up later on again. Like, the stories were alright, but in comparison to Star Rail, it didn't hit me as hard, or I didn't feel as invested as I was in Star Rail. We're talking about story. Some of it do, but not like all the way. Surprisingly, one of the stories that did get to me more was a region that everyone hates. Because honestly, I feel like Natlan's story was actually fairly good. I felt like Natlan's story was fairly good. I feel like a lot of the problems of Natlan came from outside the story. Well, besides like the global people complaining that there wasn't any voice lines for certain characters. But aside from that, I felt like most of the complaints when it came to Natlan was outside of the story, in my opinion. From what I saw and what I felt. I mean, Farina's story was good too, and Fontaine. And the Nahida thing was, I would say, was where it started getting a little bit better, in my opinion. But that's just me. That's just me. Zenless to me has been kind of like Wuwa in a way, where they just incrementally just kept getting better as the story goes on. Obviously, it will have its moments here and there where it'll probably just be like a decent update. But so far, I haven't really felt that way. But in comparison to Zenless and Genshin, I mean, obviously I've been enjoying Zenless's story a lot, so. So it is what it is. Same thing with Wu. I've been enjoying the story for what it is. But other than that, thank you, Asta, for the comment. Appreciate it as always. Appreciate your insight on Star Rail. Because it's just funny because regardless of how we think of the story, whether it is nonsensical, good, bad, and all of that, for Star Rail in general, it honestly is the most popular Hoyo game. Just based off how I saw it in Anime Expo also. I feel like Zenless isn't up there only because of the goon bait, I guess. Because it's more of a quote-unquote gooner game, right? So I feel like that's why maybe Zenless wasn't exactly the same. Genshin was, well, it's Genshin. It's just, let me just put it that way. But I felt like for Star Rail, I feel like Star Rail is the beloved one in Hoyo currently. At least that's the vibes I'm getting. Feels like there's more Star Rail fans over Genshin or Zenless. Even both of them combined. Because there was just way more people in Star Rail and all that. I'm just going from what I saw physically. Physically with my own 2 eyes. But I wouldn't know. Because I don't really care. When I don't really just search which is more popular. I'm just going off from what I see. I'm just going off from what I see. And I see it as Star Rail. Maybe Zenless can pull through later on. Maybe Star Rail will do something to move. I don't know. But as of right now, that's just how I see it. That's just how I see it. And then Hoyo's new game. I don't know how it's gonna go. Because it's, was it Honkai Nexus, something like that? I don't know nothing about it. So it is what it is. All I know is I still have other games to worry about that needs to get released. Silver Palace, Ananta, Azure Primelia, whatever other games that I wasn't released and I didn't mention. Or Moongaze, the other one that's supposed to be like a GTA one. So yeah. It is what it is. But thank you again, Asta, for the comment, like I said. Next comment is from Kazuki. So yeah, I got my first US 3 2174 speed, 1875 stamina, 1229 power. Yeah, this power stat is cooked. Last time I did get 1500 plus. 1389 guts and 1629 on wise. Need more improvement. Need to get 1800. Honestly, I don't think you'll be able to reach 1800 with just one. I'll be honest. I don't think you could reach 1800 with only one. Can you? I don't think I do enough wise to even get like consistent 1600, like wise training to get 1600. So to even go to 1800 while also worrying about the other stats, I don't know. I don't know, bro. On the new scenario with Scarlet OG with, I'm assuming this is Scarlet because you put Daiska, so. With 8,754 skill points, so close to 9k, with the support card deck, 2 speed, 2 stamina, 1 int, and 1 friend card. Well, you definitely had a better power rolls, I guess, from your speed training, because my speed was maxed out, but my power was cheeks. It wasn't even 1200. It was like 1,000, right? 1,000 something. It was pretty darn bad, if I do say so myself. But you use Teo, Almond Eye, Curran, Bokidor, Dodo, Ebayan, and Tazuna. It seems like for one build, one build? Need at least 2 recovery gold skills. Dodo's gold skill is a must for that evolve, which I did not get. Which I did not get in the last training. Also, I think I kind of understand the core of the scenario. Once you enter the mid and senior year, the buff increases a lot, and you need to use a lot of ingredients for that in order to get high SP stats, SP and stats. Makes sense. Still trying to get to 9k SP, breaking the limits even with budget-friendly support card deck. Kazuki, if you were to your deck does not look budget friendly if you were gonna put in the eyes of someone who don't have those cards. When I think budget friendly, I'm thinking like you're just you barely have any cards to work with, or you're just using the rental deck. That is budget. I don't think you're. Oh, I mean, the borrowed card. Obviously, we're doing the same thing. That's fine. Oh, you're using an LB0 current Bokido. I just realized that. Yeah, because the only reason why you have all these cards is because you kept pulling, but in return, those pulls kind of hurt you for other future banners that you were trying to save for, right? Plus, I wouldn't really call it budget if you were constantly pulling, and I would say you still have better cards than some other people, maybe, or a lot of other people who probably weren't as fortunate, I guess. Sure, we didn't get Dodo right, but at least you still got the other cards. Some people might not even have Almond or Teo like you did prior before you pulled for it, right? And you do have an MLB Tazuna. You do have an MLB Tazuna. So who knows? Also, the recommended raw stats for the upcoming CM is this: 2150, 1800, 13 to 1400 power, 1200 guts, and 16 to 1800 wise. Ain't no need to go to 1800 then. Because I honestly don't think you could reach 1800 with one wise card. I don't think so. That's why I mean, the only reason why I was close to getting to, what, 1700 with cap is because I had power. But I overdid it when I got 2 stamina cards. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to find a balance here, pretty much. Pretty much. Speed obviously is fine with 2. It's fine with 2, especially if I just reaching around 2100s. 22 maybe will need, no, 22 I did yesterday with 2 speed cards. So yeah, it's fine with 2 speed cards. I don't think I need to go 3. The only way I could see 3 if is, I don't see a point in going 3 speed for power if I can just add a power card. Right? Unless I was trying to get like a specific skill from another speed card, right? But then why not just use that speed card instead? To be one of the 2 and, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too much right now. Maybe. The only downside for the support card deck is current Bokudor since she only have 1 SP. Bonus, yeah, even at MLB she literally only have 1 SP. Maybe I'll try to use Fenomeno later since it has 2 SP bonus even at LB0. I'm just going to use my Super Creek. Like I've been saying. That or I get something out of the blue tickets. Because I still have a good amount of... I still have a blue tickets that I can use. But other than that, thank you, Kazuki, for all the comments. Appreciate it as always. I say comments, but it's mainly 1 comment and a couple replies. And then I want to say lastly, but we'll see if it's a lastly. Yeah, it is. So the last comment is going to be from Eugen, and it says, so for the train along vid with Summer McQueen, I ended up with US2 with a stats of 2234, 1802, 1027, 1365, 1713, and a total of 8510 skill points. The accumulated learned skills is 55, 16 rare skills. By the way, I borrowed MLB Teo and used 1 LB Tazuna, so setup should be at least close. Yeah, that's pretty much similar, if anything. Yeah, your training could have a little bit better, and I was thinking if 3 speed, 1 stamina, 1 wise setup instead for the pump of power, and new speed diet since it also have a recovery skill. But if I really just needed power help, like I said, wouldn't it just be better if I just used a power card instead of overloading on speed? While still using the Dodo card as a borrow instead of borrowing a speed card? Because speed is not my problem. If I just overload on speed, I'm going to end up having so many speed rainbows. Especially towards an end when I don't need it. Because yesterday I already struggled that with having a lot of stamina, right? And didn't really use stamina or train stamina towards the end. So wouldn't power technically be better than speed if power is my main issue? Kind of like what I'm doing now, going back to how my old setup is. Obviously, I do want to try the 2 speed, 2 stamina setup just to see how it goes when my run does go better. But right now, I'm just kind of just compare and contrast to see how it is between the usual setup I use and the 2 speed, 2 stamina. But we'll see. We'll see. On this scenario, I'm still learning on my end the 253 rule. With based on my understanding is the total allotted ingredients on the 3 ramen you choose or something like that. So you can maximize the boost and not short of items. Like to always have 2 noodles, 5 broth, and 3 of the other stuff? Is that what you're saying? I just realized, how's my... Okay, that's fine, actually. Alright, let's do power. Ikino Dictus. Let's see what I can do for her once I trained her. But yeah, I have already a placeholder with Summer McQueen. Yep. Although it comes with crazy using Haru Ura, but I'd rather use her during Arumakinen and no good turf long factors for it. Yeah, Haru, you need a lot of work on. A lot of inheritance things to work on, or factors. The scratch lottery is quite tempting due to chance to gain funds, but of course risk to lose funds as well, so I tend to do a 200k budget once I think about it and go all the way. Well, it is gambling. Of course, with gambling comes risk, so yeah, but at least it's just for funds that I can just get back over time again. And I didn't bother doing it today either. Or I didn't bother doing it today, so that is just me trying to get my milk back at this point. Since there is a new endgame rails, I'm assuming you're talking about the update, the reset of Beyond the Rails. That is my assumption, at least. I just completed the 8th stage and we'll work that later because I'm currently at level 75 on the characters for 999 even and cleared up the event quests unnecessary. Well, that means you finished the story then, and just doing the event itself. So that's cool. That is cool. I haven't touched anything NTU related. Well, since the story, I guess. Oh, because it's 2 noodles? So at this point, just raising to level 100 so can farm button and purchase the items, but there's still time around a month until Eroy's fair ends. Well, yeah, because the event should be staying around for the whole patch. You're perfectly fine. You don't have to rush it now. Excuse me. And then, oh no, summertime, which you might get sick due to the weather. Yep. It's 83 in my room. It's 6 in the morning. Basically an hour later from yesterday. But yesterday was hotter. It ended up being like 102 degrees at the end of the day. It was still 87 degrees at 10 at night. Let that sink in. It was 87 degrees at night. So yeah, today, I mean, I'll be honest, even with my AC on, my AC was struggling to, well, I felt fine, but I still felt a little warm. But my AC was struggling because my room still stayed in the 80s. It was that hot. It was that hot where the AC, all it did was basically didn't make my room be in the 90s for all day. Because by the time I turned on my AC, it was already like 94 in my room. It was toasty as heck. It was toasty as heck. So yeah. Should be high 90s again today. Then it should just go to the 80s for a bit, which I'll take over the 90s. We'll just see how the rest of the summer goes. We'll see if I do end up sick or not. The bag of bags you had shown looks nice and good stuffs you have. There's definitely way more bags in there than I was showing. I literally only showed what I wanted to show. Well, other than that, yeah, there was just a lot of bags in there. Man, some of these bags are nice. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of worried about my stamina. No, not really. Speed it a little bit, but not really, because I still have a good amount of time. I think the most worried I am about is Wise, because it is kind of on the lower end. Kinda. So we'll just see how it goes. I do need to bump up the speed, that way I can get a 2100, but yeah, Anime Expo, a lot of there'll definitely be a lot of bags as long as you go in. Go for it. Some of them you can just easily get it. Like the Anime Expo swag bag that's literally just placed in front before you even enter the building. You just grab one, that a lanyard, and you just go inside, wait in line again for like an hour, or wait in the crowd again for an hour before they open it. And then once you go inside, well, it's all free reign. You get what you want, all the freebies you want, as long as you go to the booths. Other than that, well, you enjoy what you're there for. Whether you're there just to check out the booths, whether for the freebies, the events, or cosplayers, because they're normally at their booths. Or for their merch. Or you're there for specific other companies that are not like game developers or all game companies or all that. And then there's also TCG stuff, honestly. Beyblade was there. I didn't think I'd see Beyblade there. Like they had their own booth and all that. But there was TCG stuff there. I mean, Bandai Namco was there, so they do have their TCGs there. Weiss Schwartz was there. Grand Archive. One Piece card game was there, which aka Bandai Namco, I believe. And then yeah, it's like panels. You can have different reasons to go to Anime Expo. You can just go there for the experience, the stuff, or the panels, pretty much. So, yeah. And the only reason why I was able to get this stuff is because I went and go get the stuff. If you're not willing to go get the stuff, well, just at least the stuff that I got, the free stuff, then at least just buy the stuff you want then. Because other than that, if you're not there for the experience, the panels, or the experience, I don't necessarily know why you're there. But for me, it's always a good experience because I enjoy being there. Even though I don't like necessarily big crowds and all that. I just enjoy being there because, you know, I'm not normally going into big events and all that. It's probably the only big event I go to. It probably is the only big event I go to in the year, so it's the only one I look forward to. But that's just me. But other than that, thank you, Eugen. Thank you, Kazuki. And thank you, Asta, for the comments. Appreciate it as always. Let me refresh just to see if maybe, just maybe, Nova or someone else had commented. But no. Which will leave us to focusing on the rest of the run. Just perfect because we're about to hit that 1 hour mark. So maybe we can speed it up just a little bit. Just to be under an hour. Okay. Okay, let's do this just so we can gain some energy again. And you can see, yeah, you can tell it's hot because I brought out the jersey. I'm just wearing a jersey now. Which will probably be norm for the rest of the summer, maybe. Or when it's hot, because I'll either be wearing a jersey or a tank top, I guess. Let's actually give this to Wise and see if we can... It's a pretty good boost. That's a pretty good boost. I don't know if I'll be able to just do Wise training and I'll be fine with speed, but I think I need to do at least one speed training. And then maybe one stamina training. How are we stats wise? Yeah. Probably one stamina training. And we'll see how Wise goes. But no, I feel like I'm better off doing one stamina personally, based off how I see my stats. Technically, 2 can help me more. 2 stamina can help me more because of the recovery skills and all that. Because I don't essentially have another gold recovery skill, right? I believe she has Stamina Eater though, so she might have a recovery skill, but I know she has Stamina Eater. But let's cruise through. Come on. I want to try and end a vid under an hour. Like barely under an hour. So please, game, stop showing me things that I don't want to see right now. Yeah, that should be good. Let's do that. That's going to be close to 2100. Next one's probably stamina, and then we'll do Wise. Well, no, yeah. I mean, that cap had, what, 1500, 1600 stamina? I mean, power, along with 1600 stamina? Ooh, it didn't go to stamina. I guess I'll give this one to... I'll give it to Wise. That way I have it at 1400 at least, because I can still get stamina to around to max, I guess. Max, is that my max? Or I guess the 1800 as close as possible. Where's my guts at? Because I find it weird that I got my stamina close to 1800. But my guts is still at 982. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. But I guess I'll just give it to stamina. Which will then in turn raise guts, so. And here we go. Then now we just click through and we can see what we get. And I gotta go pick the skills. We'll probably be over an hour. We're looking at the time. We're almost at the 59-minute mark. So it is what it is. I tried. And then after that, I gotta edit, upload all 3 videos, and then I can get started with Enfield. Story. But yeah, let me just pick out the skills real quick. And then after that, Well, see what we got. And after we see what we got, we'll end the video. I wonder when I'm going to get my first US, by the way, for this scenario, or just in general. I wonder who is it going to be and when it's going to be. Let me just put it that way. Oh, almost done. Almost done. Those. Screw it. We'll just get this. I'm just gonna. I guess. Just grabbing what I can. Sure. Sure. Oh, yeah. No debuffs, huh? What's the evolve skill? So, okay. Okay. I just realized that. No stamina eater. Great. Can I get anything for 60? That's not medium distance. I guess I'll just grab the medium distance just to say I use it, but I don't think I had anything other options. I forgot. No debuffs. We did get an S aptitude. Saw that? Man, no debuffs. What a pain. Bang, bang. Let's go. All right. This might be around the same ballpark as the McQueen, I would say. Maybe. Maybe a little bit better. A little bit better. UA 7. Yeah, it's around the same ballpark. Can I not get medium distance? Well, I guess I'll just get all medium distance. It just makes sense just based off how I was training. Like, it wouldn't make sense for me to get medium, but, you know. 2172 72 speed, 1838 stamina, 1434 power, 1120 guts, and 1474 wise. With an S aptitude on long distance. And that is my best trained Dia. Satono Diamond. With a UA 7. Her first UA in But with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys didn't make it this far, I do want to say thank you. If you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and let me know how you guys are doing with your training. I believe next week is a CM, so let me know if you guys are ready, and there's anything else you want to talk about or ask me, just let me know. Just write it down below in the comment section, and then as long as appropriate, I'll go over it. And if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description down below. So with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you once again, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.